November Sunrise Edition, live from the studio. You know that tomorrow we're hitting the streets again. We started from Pokwase all the way to the Central Business District. If you missed out last Friday, I invite you to join us. The real conversations happen there, the real opinions, the real people. No cosmetic talk. Everybody does straight, straight to the point. Michael Ogbodu, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, man.
Charlie, Miniano.
Talking about the real talks, I think that was the high points for me on last week's trip. You know, hearing about the man talk about how COVID and the downsizing of his the way he worked affected his job. The woman who economic issues was affecting the fact that she couldn't even pay her fees and had to gamble and use the money she had raised to go and buy panties and stuff. These are real stuff, bro. Real stuff.
The real people on the ground. And you hear these things and you clearly know that there's something wrong somewhere.
True.
Something is wrong somewhere. And you know, these are not lazy people. These are people who realize that they have a responsibility not only to themselves but to their families as well. So they are trying to do something. The man says, look, he's going to Accra. He doesn't even know what he's going to do, but he's going to Accra. He's going to do one or two to find something.
Serious?
Yeah, he's going to do one or two to find something.
And you see, the interesting part is that even the middle class and upper class are not spared.
Yeah.
Remember the...
No, now the middle class is just nomenclature. If you look into our accounts, we know the middle. We the upper lower.
If you're serious, yeah. Remember the European you spoke to at the coconut stand, and he spoke about how the price of coconut had doubled over the last 2-3 years.
Brody self-receive them.
Oh, Charlie.
Nobody
has been spared.
Nobody has been spared.
But you see, the point also is that we are missing the fact that the image this paints about us as a country is not great. Because if foreign nationals come into the country and then within 2-3 years they are seeing this sporadic...
He earns dollars. But even he is complaining.
You see, that dollar conversation...
When he melts the dollar, he gets plenty money. But even him, he was complaining at the coconut joint.
That's the point. And you see, we keep missing the fact that, you see, you earn dollars. When it depreciates, you get more money. But we forget that the purchasing power of that money is actually dwindling. So it's not about the volume of it, but what it can do.
I'm saying that if he takes $1 from his money, that's about 17 cedis.
Exactly.
He could have bought 3 bottles of the coconut, 5 cedis, you know, and still had 2 cedis change. But even he was complaining.
That's the point, Johnny.
So the people who earn cedis, what would they do? Felicity Appiah-Ampofo is joining us on the phone line. Felicity, good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Are you part of the upper middle class or lower middle class or mid-middle class? Where are you?
I think I should be at the middle.
You are at the middle, by nomenclature or by bank account details?
Both.
Let's hear what's to happen today by way of weather.
Thanks so much, and good morning to everyone. Yes, this morning we're having pretty fairly weather for the entire country. Mist and foggy over in Koko and its environs, but then by 8 we expect it to clear. We expect sunny conditions, and then temperatures is going to be a bit scorchy. Hot over most areas. We expect it between 33 to 37 across the entire country. In terms of rain, we expect it over some few places, especially those of us along the coast and a little bit into the middle sector. Kofori, Diaho, and Kimodan are also in our timeline for some rain this into the evening. For the hazy conditions, we still expect it to persist over the north. So those in Bogatanga, Prongo, Sandeman, Relugu, and its environs should still expect fairly dry conditions with slightly haziness over their area. In terms of the state of the sea, we expect it to remain rough. We are having a lot of rain and thunderclouds over the sea this morning. Though they are not bulky, we expect them to induce some cloudiness and possible some showers, which will later affect those of us along the coastline into the middle belt by late afternoon into the evening hours.
Felicity, we are grateful for your time this morning, and you stay safe and have the top of the day.
Thank you.
Great. That's Felicity Appiah-Ampofo from the Ghana Meteorological Agency bringing us weather updates every morning at 6:32. All we need now is love. And later in the show, we will be giving you some projections of the parliamentary elections. Is your MP losing or winning? Is your MP going to win or is your MP going to lose? Or is it a toss-up? We're not too sure. Are you sure about your constituency? Yeah, we have the details. We have done some scientific research and Ebenezer Nyako will run us through that. But the Daily Statement this morning says the elephant wins in the USA. NPP says Trump's victory reignites center-right support globally. Ghana to pioneer Africa's fledged license issuance. Ghana showcases progressive urban development in Cairo. Also, Best clears 384 million Ghana cedis debt. What you have on the front page of the Finder newspaper says equities market sees growth, creates stability and stable financing options for SMEs. Inflation rises to 22.1% in October, still quite high. After we dipped from 54%. Banks, fintechs leverage digitalization to SMEs to sustain them. Ghana's crude oil production rebounds. The Daybreak newspaper says Kumasi Brewery collapsed under your watch. Akufo-Addo jabs John Mahama. Orleans Lindsay inaugurated as first chancellor of Cape Coast Technical University. Bawumia engages parents November 10. South African behind $45 million scandal in Ghana. And coming up, Consolidated Bank Ghana in disarray because of power play among top officials. And I'll share some details with you in the coming days on Johnny's Bite. The Business Analyst celebrating 40 years of Farmers' Day, the ADB story. IE slams Bank of Ghana over gold coin. Sorry about that. The Crusading Guide says EC presents final voters register to political parties. Oliver Barker-Vorma's woes deepen in court as judge adjourns defamation case to November 20 for commencement of the trial. How Ghana can successfully educate its population to attain desired cultural values, peace and collective prosperity, according to Sam Jonah. Ghana goes live on June 25 for fledged licenses. Lands Minister Abu Jinapo says retraction and apology to the former president John Mahama is there also on the front page. Private hospitals reduce dialysis and surgery costs as Nana Nketiah's health advocacy is yielding results. Ghana's favorite newspaper, the Daily Guide, says I will establish tomato factory at Akumadan. Dr. Bawumia is promising one more time. Nana elevates 15 assemblies and EC presents certified voters register to the parties. No constitutional crisis, says Speaker Bagbin. Trump sweeps U.S. election. The Chronicle, Bagbin is mad, in quote, accuses judiciary and executive of colluding to weaken Parliament. Ghana, first country to issue forest law enforcement license. Stubborn Trump returns to the White House. Bawumia's vision for education to be unveiled, according to the education minister. And they add a Bible verse, Philippians 2 verse 14. Ogbodu would like this. Do all things without grumbling or disputing. The Daily Graphic, shift to holistic education. Reverend Professor Sari Danso advocates knowledge, skills, and moral values. Petroleum rakes in $840.77 million half year. Special supplement on Farmers' Day, which is tomorrow. Coming up, no constitutional crisis. Speaker Bagbin assures the nation, and we will make America great again. Trump declares as 47 U.S. president-elect. And it's going to be Black Friday for those who are interested from the 25th to the 30th of November. Graphic Showbiz is also here. Hey, the Daily Searchlight, pressing the breast of girls is a barbaric practice, Dr. Yafi. Doc, hey, good morning to you. Are we in Equatorial Guinea already?
Context though.
Well, I'm sure she's talking about breast cancer. You know, Dr. Yafi has been very instrumental in breast cancer. That's a screaming headline.
I see.
But we are not in Equatorial Guinea. Electoral Commission presents clean voters register to parties. Ghanaian Times, you are undermining Parliament. comes with a screamer. Bagbin accuses executive judicial arms of government. But what's funny?
We have the 300 Spartans, but we have the 400 Guineans.
Yeah, Charlie. The New Republic, a tale of two one-term presidents. Trump is back. JM is coming. Well, that's the question that the New Republic newspaper is asking. The National Enquirer says conspiracy to rig or not to rig. NPP at IT experts controlling EC's IT systems. How? NDC again raises red flag over EC's final voters register statistics. The Anchor newspaper, Elapi uncovers 167.8 million Ghana cedis, $14.6 billion in dormant accounts with Bank of Ghana. Sam Jonah proposes 1-year military service for graduates. Speaker Bagbin takes judiciary and executive on. Broken down, Agodeke. Bando Pantoon still not fixed. The Daily Dispatch, I am pleased to let all know we have a robust, credible, and certified voters register. EC boss says so. Say you can't show me nothing. Nothing. Guru, what do you have?
The Business Analyst, Shaping Economic Decisions, celebrating 40 years of Farmers' Day, the ADB story. Be interesting to know what that's all about. IEA slams BOG over gold coin, demands permanent solutions to cedi instability. Inflation hits 22.1% in October. Interesting when we're projecting to end the year under 20. Okay. Maybe something magical happened in December.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
I think government was targeting 15%.
Yeah, plus or minus. But we this. Anyway, Power and Energy Ghana Expo kicks off. Cocoa farmers in Ghana hoard beans in anticipation of price hike. That's according to a Reuters report. So I gather that the vice president has stated that when he wins power, he would increase the price of cocoa beans. So people are...
Michael, I think you mean to say if he wins power.
What did I say?
You say when.
It's English.
But anyway, that's what he is saying. So you will also, of course, be optimistic. So
I'm prepared to put my presidency on the line and put your presidency on the line. I get you. It's English. You're marking English.
Hey, so simply now.
Yes. People, let's talk about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah. Charlie, how do you see that thing?
I didn't expect it.
No, me neither.
Charlie, but I think the bottom line is fear voters.
Somebody said I didn't expect it.
Nah, this one there. Charlie, the kind of... I'm surprised at the result.
Do you know what? I'm not. And I've started to see a lot of tweets saying that you are in the administration, Kamala, and they're saying that you are what we are going through, you haven't fixed it, and yet you say you want to continue. That sentiment of but you are here.
But why is this thing looking familiar like that?
So I actually screenshot a tweet, and I was getting that feeling as well. I mean, amongst many other things, the dynamic in the States is quite different. So I see so many people trying to do the analysis and comparison. Please just do fiasem. I think is the advice that I would give to all of us. I can't find that tweet. If I did, I'd share it with you all. But that was some of the sentiment as well, is that incumbent fatigue also sets in, no matter who you are, especially if people are complaining about the cost of living, and Americans are complaining bitterly since COVID struck. They want to go to pre-pandemic numbers, and that's not possible. And you are there, so you kind of become the symbol of what they are going through. Sadly, as an incumbent, it's never easy. So let's see what happens.
How it goes,
on home soil, because we have it's now officially 30 days. The countdown is on.
The NPP is already associating with the victory and suggesting
but ours is the NDC.
Yes. No, but the NPP says that, the elephant is the winning symbol. You know, Trump's symbol. Yeah. So they associate with it, and they are claiming the victory. What they don't say is that a former president has come back.
True though.
Because the statement from Justin Kuria Frimpong was very silent on that.
Okay.
But that is the central theme. If you speak to, let's say we spoke with Abdul Rahman Sani, and he was talking about the same thing. That a former president, as stubborn as people think he is gone and he's back.
Exactly.
Right? Nobody's talking about that in Ghana. the NPP is only associating with the victory as it is. The NDC is also associating with the victory, but fear voters.
Fear voters. That one, and at this point, I think
will show you something small.
But the gap was interesting.
It was a landslide,
and I'm hoping that our elections this year
will be decisive.
Yeah, once and for all. We don't want any runoff or anything. Straight to the point. You win, you win.
But if you listen to the pollsters, they seem to be suggesting that we could be getting into a runoff, given the momentum that the smaller parties, so to speak, are gathering.
Interesting.
It could push us into a runoff if we don't take care.
But I thought, was it Fitch predicted a landslide victory for the NDC? So, well, I'm sure everybody has the basis for their data. But I am really hoping that this is a one-off.
Once and for all.
Win and let's go home.
Charlie, if they win you. If you lose, you lose.
That's all. No runoff. Yeah, straight to the point. And
we don't want any stress.
But really, are you expecting much from, especially if you're talking about the smaller parties? Do you see any?
I think that this time around, they mean a lot more business, except to say that the electoral record since 1992 has not supported the vim that they claim to have. The Ghana GUM. Right? It was the third force in 2020.
Okay. Yeah.
GUM was the third force. Out of the blue, from nowhere.
Yeah.
It just came and third force straight. I mean, for GUM to have gotten more votes than PPP, CPP, PNC, they have been around for some time, PP, LPG, all of those ones. It means that GUM did something right. So what did they do? GUM foisted a campaign of going back to the glory days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the factories that he had, how we can industrialize, how we can be self-sufficient, we can be independent on our own, get our own money and not go begging and borrowing. And a lot more Ghanaians, tilted towards his sentiments, because that's what we are all looking for, so that we don't become a butt of jokes on the global front. Now we are a butt of jokes. I mean, look at our currency, look at how we go begging and borrowing from everybody else. And the people we go and borrow, sometimes they cut down the size of the government and nobody wants to listen.
Amidst Ghana Beyond Aid. I just have to say.
And now Ghana Beyond
global warming and eco and meanwhile our backyard.
You are doing galamsey. So Ghana Beyond Aid is now in need of aid. You get the point.
Yeah.
And that was the campaign that he pushed, and he got it. So for me, it gives me an indication that a lot more Ghanaians are looking for, okay, how do we get out of this quagmire? And the NDC is trying, the MPP is trying, but would Ghanaians stick with the duopoly, or would they go out of their way to choose another person? Who are they getting? Cheddar was gathering, some momentum. At some point, he started making certain statements, and people thought, Charlie. And
I said, I don't think Cheddar is ready.
Chairman, no,
he has to go back into the oven and cook some more.
Because people were beginning to like him until he made some public pronouncement. Charlie.
And then he had to come back and explain twice after me. And sometimes when you misspeak, that is the and Samsung Koye Papa. He had to come back and apologize twice because of that statement he made about the protests and the galamsey, especially because a year prior he had gone to support the protests and was, behind the youth, had made a video. Then all of a sudden he came with a different story. And since then, I think the momentum and the heat has surely died down. But the butterfly movement, however, I think have come to stay if Alan Tremanting decides to keep that momentum.
The heat that Alan Tremanting had from the beginning.
You say the steam is also coming off?
I'm not feeling the steam. And especially when he picked my contemporary, KOD, Danso. I was thinking that it would, the momentum, the heat.
Yeah.
But if you... Dr. Baumia is over 60, right?
Yeah.
John Mahama is over 60.
Yeah.
Professor Jena Opoku-Agyemang is over 70, I think.
That's right.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is over 50, inching towards 60.
About 58, isn't he? Yeah.
So if you pick a younger person, that energy must show in the campaign. Because Alan Tremanting is also very advanced in age.
That's
about
right.
68 or so.
Yeah.
So he needs and that's where my philosophy comes in, the wisdom of the old and the energy of the youth. Of the young, right? I'm not getting that combo.
So should he go and pair up with Cheddar, for example, if the Butterfly Movement and the New Force decide to create a partnership? Do you think the youth would? It could cause a shake-up.
Yeah, it could. We have had that before. You remember the Great Alliance, Kenson Akar. It was then, back then, PNC, Akar's party, then there was another, Ebro, Kube. Some parties, they came together. You know, the Great Alliance, that pushed, it really gave Jerry Rawlings a run for his money.
Right.
Yeah, Jay Kufuor, all of them, they came together. I mean, literally telling them, we have had enough of you. Go away. The Great Alliance. And this was at the time when Dr. Vice President Akar, Kenson Akar, with his beautiful bow tie, was still Vice President of the regime. And he went to form Great Alliance and jump ship. but he was still Vice President.
Our politics really has come a long way.
Yeah, you know, we have come a long way.
But it's also interesting to see that even the US suffers from this typical minority groups thing. I'm sure you saw the many minority parties also on the list there.
And 2020, Kanye West contested for presidency.
Nothing we don't see before.
I think he got 6,000 votes out of the million people that are in the state.
But I think that Cheddar might pull a surprise because
which kind of surprise?
Oh no, in terms of the numbers, I think that honestly, if you go into the communities, especially like into town,
Chairman,
outside Accra,
I'm not dismissing.
Yeah, outside Accra, you'd be surprised at the visibility he has.
I'm not dismissing his potential. No.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that the kind of support that he had from the young people and the statement he made.
Yeah,
and came back to explain 2 times, and people started comparing what he's saying now to a video he made a year
ago.
He lost that plot, and once you lose that plot with the young voters, forget it.
But I still think he'll be number 3.
I'm taking a break.
Please, how much is the rice? It depends on size, no. 5 kilogram, no. And no, for 120 Ghana cedis.
120 Ghana cedis?
Ayo, right now, the importers are complaining about the high dollar rate.